Most people think they're doing everything right with their money. They save when they can, they avoid obvious scams, and they try to be responsible. But here's the shocking truth that Warren Buffett discovered decades ago. The biggest financial disasters don't come from one massive mistake. They come from 7 seemingly innocent habits that slowly drain your wealth without you even noticing. Today, I'm going to reveal these 7 deadly money traps that keep people broke and show you exactly how avoiding them could completely transform your financial future. Before we dive in, I want you to do something. Comment below with the phrase, "I'm ready to build real wealth," and I'll personally give your comment a heart. This isn't just engagement. It's your commitment to changing your financial story starting today. And if this resonates with you, smash that like button and subscribe, because we're about to uncover wealth secrets that schools never teach and parents rarely discuss. Pay close attention to mistake number 7, because that single insight contains the wealth-building principle that separates millionaires from everyone else. Miss it, and you'll stay trapped in the same financial patterns forever. Catch it, and you'll never look at money the same way again. Let's jump right into the first devastating mistake that Warren Buffett warns against. The first mistake people make is borrowing money to invest in things they don't understand. This sounds sophisticated, right? Using leverage to amplify your returns. But Buffett calls this financial suicide, and here's why. When you combine ignorance with debt, you're not just risking your initial investment, you're risking everything you own. It's like driving blindfolded at full speed. You might get lucky once or twice, but eventually, reality catches up. And when it does, the crash is devastating. Buffett built his fortune by only investing in businesses he could explain to a 10-year-old. If he couldn't understand how a company made money, he stayed away. Period. This wasn't about being conservative. It was about being smart. Because debt doesn't just magnify your wins, it amplifies your losses exponentially. Think about the 2008 financial crisis. Millions of people borrowed against their homes to buy more real estate or invest in complicated financial products they didn't understand. When the market crashed, they didn't just lose their investments, they lost their homes, their savings, everything. The lesson here is brutal but necessary. If you can't explain an investment in simple terms, don't put borrowed money into it. Your future self will thank you. Remember this golden rule. Money punishes ignorance ruthlessly, but it rewards wisdom generously. The second mistake is signing loans for other people. This seems generous and caring, but it's actually one of the fastest ways to destroy your financial security. When you co-sign a loan, you're essentially handing someone else control over your credit score, your financial reputation, and potentially your entire financial future. You're saying, "I trust this person's financial decisions so much that I'm willing to bet my security on them." But here's what most people don't realize. If the person you co-signed for was financially responsible enough to handle the debt on their own, they wouldn't need a co-signer in the first place. You're literally being asked to take responsibility for someone who couldn't convince a bank they're responsible enough. Buffett understood this principle deeply. He never risked his security on other people's financial choices, no matter how much he cared about them or how convincing their situation seemed. He knew that true generosity means helping people in ways that don't jeopardize your ability to help others in the future. There are better ways to help people you care about. You can give them money you can afford to lose, help them create a budget, or teach them financial skills. But never tie your financial future to their decisions. Write this down. Generosity should never come at the cost of my stability. This isn't being selfish, it's being responsible. The third mistake is falling for get-rich-quick schemes and investment scams. These predators specifically target people's emotions, their greed and their desperation. Every Ponzi scheme, every investment scam, every financial fraud follows the same playbook. They promise fast money with minimal effort. They tell you that you can skip the slow, boring process of building wealth and jump straight to being rich. But here's what Buffett learned early in his career. Real wealth is built slowly, investment by investment, year after year. There are no shortcuts that don't involve massive risks or outright fraud. The mathematics of compound interest might seem boring compared to promises of doubling your money overnight, but it's what actually works. Buffett didn't become one of the world's richest people by chasing hot tips or secret formulas. He did it by buying good businesses at fair prices and holding them for decades. Every time you see an investment opportunity promising extraordinary returns in a short time, ask yourself this question. If this opportunity is so amazing, why are they selling it to me instead of keeping it for themselves? The answer is usually that they're making their money by selling hope to people who want to believe in shortcuts, not by actually delivering those returns. Remember, real wealth is built on patience, not promises. The fourth mistake is waiting too long to start investing. This is the mistake that Buffett calls the most expensive one of all because it costs you time, the one resource you can never get back. Compound interest is called the eighth wonder of the world for a reason. It's not just about earning returns on your money, it's about earning returns on your returns, year after year after year. But compound interest needs time to work its magic. Let me show you what I mean. If you invest $10,000 at age 25 and earn an average return of 8% annually, by age 65, you'll have around $217,000. But if you wait until age 35 to start investing that same $10,000, you'll only have about $100,000 by age 65. That 10-year delay cost you over $100,000. That's the price of procrastination. Buffett started investing when he was 11 years old. Not because he had access to sophisticated investment strategies, but because he understood that time was his greatest asset. Every day you delay investing is a day of compound growth you're giving up forever. You don't need to be an expert to start. You don't need thousands of dollars. You can start with whatever you have right now and learn as you go. The perfect moment to start investing doesn't exist. There will always be uncertainty, always be reasons to wait. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. The same principle applies to investing. Type this in the comments. The best time to invest was yesterday. The second best time is today. The fifth mistake is keeping all your money in savings accounts. This feels safe and responsible, but it's actually one of the most dangerous things you can do with your money over the long term. Here's why. Inflation is silently stealing your purchasing power every single day. The money sitting in your savings account earning 1% interest is losing value when inflation is running at 3, 4, or 5% annually. That means your safe savings account is actually guaranteed to make you poorer over time. You're taking a certain loss to avoid uncertain gains. Buffett recognized this early on. He saw that cash sitting in bank accounts was like ice cubes sitting in the sun. They were melting away slowly but surely. That's why he never just parked his money and forgot about it. He put it to work in assets that could grow faster than inflation. Don't get me wrong, you need some money in savings for emergencies. But if all your money is sitting in savings accounts, you're not being safe, you're being reckless with your future. Your emergency fund should cover 3 to 6 months of expenses. Everything beyond that should be invested in assets that can grow over time. Stocks, real estate, businesses, anything that can keep up with or beat inflation. The goal isn't just to save money, it's to build wealth. And wealth is built by putting money to work, not by hiding it under the mattress or in low-interest accounts. Here's your new mindset. If my money isn't growing, it's shrinking. The sixth mistake is ignoring life insurance when people depend on your income. This might seem boring compared to talking about investments and wealth building, but it's actually one of the most important financial decisions you'll ever make. If you have children, a spouse, aging parents, or anyone who depends on your income to survive, life insurance isn't optional. It's your responsibility. Yet millions of people avoid it because they don't want to think about mortality or because they think it's too expensive. But here's the brutal reality. If something happens to you tomorrow, how will your family pay the mortgage? How will they buy groceries? How will your children go to college? Your good intentions won't pay those bills. Buffett understood that building wealth isn't just about accumulating assets. It's about managing risks. And the biggest risk most people face isn't losing money in the stock market. It's leaving their families financially devastated. Term life insurance is relatively inexpensive, especially when you're young and healthy. For the cost of a few cups of coffee per week, you can provide your family with hundreds of thousands of dollars of protection. Think of it this way. You wouldn't drive without car insurance or live in a house without homeowner's insurance. Your life and your ability to earn income are far more valuable than your car or your house. Why wouldn't you protect them? This isn't about you, it's about the people who depend on you. Don't let your discomfort with the topic leave them vulnerable. Type this commitment in the comments. I will protect my family's future. Now we come to the seventh and most devastating mistake, the one that keeps more people broke than all the others combined. This is the mistake that Buffett says separates wealthy people from everyone else. The seventh mistake is following the crowd. It sounds safe, right? If everyone else is doing it, it must be the smart thing to do. But here's the harsh truth that most people never realize. The crowd is usually wrong about money. Think about every major financial disaster in history. The stock market crash of 1929, the dot-com bubble, the housing crash of 2008. What did they all have in common? The crowd was all in right before the collapse. During the housing bubble, everyone said real estate never goes down. During the dot-com boom, people were quitting their jobs to day trade internet stocks they knew nothing about. Today, people are dumping their life savings into cryptocurrency or whatever's trending on social media, not because they understand it, but because everyone else is talking about it. When the crowd gets greedy, that's when smart investors get cautious. When the crowd panics and sells everything, that's when opportunities appear. This is where Buffett's famous quote comes from. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. But here's the hard part. Doing this will make you look crazy to other people. When everyone around you is buying and prices are going up, you'll look foolish for holding back. When everyone is selling and losing their minds, you'll look reckless for buying. Most people can't handle being different. They'd rather lose money with the crowd than make money by themselves. That's why most people stay broke while a small percentage builds real wealth. The crowd might feel safe, but safety is an illusion. If you want different results than most people get, you need to be willing to do things differently than most people do them. This requires three things that most people don't have: the courage to think independently, the patience to wait for the right opportunities, and the discipline to stick to your principles when everyone else is losing their minds. Warren Buffett has been doing this for over 60 years, and it's made him one of the richest people in the world. Not because he's smarter than everyone else, but because he's willing to be different from everyone else. Here's what you need to understand about building wealth. The first $100,000 is the hardest milestone to reach. It feels slow, it feels painful, and it tests your patience every single day. But once you cross that line, something magical happens. Your money starts working harder than you do. Compound interest kicks into high gear. Investment opportunities that weren't available before suddenly become accessible. The momentum builds on itself. Most people quit before they reach this tipping point. They get discouraged by the slow progress in the beginning and give up just before the magic starts happening. But if you can push through that initial phase, if you can stay disciplined while your account grows from 0 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 50,000, you'll eventually hit that magical 100,000 mark. And once you're there, the next 100,000 comes faster, then faster still. That's the power of compound growth, and it's why Buffett calls time your greatest ally in building wealth. Type this commitment in the comments. The first 100,000 is the hardest, but it changes everything. Let me leave you with this thought. These 7 mistakes might seem small and harmless on the surface, but Warren Buffett learned something that most people never realize. The simple things are what separate wealth from poverty. It's not the big, obvious disasters that destroy people financially. It's the small, daily decisions that compound over time. Borrowing money to invest in things you don't understand. Co-signing loans for other people. Chasing get-rich-quick schemes. Waiting to start investing. Keeping all your money in savings accounts. Ignoring life insurance. Following the crowd. Each of these mistakes seems reasonable in the moment. But over years and decades, they add up to a life of financial struggle and missed opportunities. The good news is that avoiding them is simple. Not easy, but simple. It requires discipline, patience, and the courage to do things differently than most people. But if you can master these principles, you won't just save money, you'll leap decades ahead of everyone else financially. Remember, knowledge without action is worthless. If you don't apply what you've learned today, life will teach you these same lessons, but in the most painful way possible through lost opportunities, financial stress, and retirement anxiety. Your financial future starts with the next decision you make. Will you keep making the same mistakes that keep most people broke? Or will you choose the path that leads to real wealth and financial freedom? The choice is yours, but choose wisely. Your future self is counting on the decision you make today. If this video has opened your eyes to new possibilities for your financial future, I want to hear from you. Share your biggest takeaway in the comments below. And don't forget to include the phrase, "I watched until the end," so I can give your comment a heart. There are 3 simple actions that will ensure you never miss life-changing financial content like this. First, hit the like button on this video. Second, subscribe to this channel. Third, ring that notification bell so you're alerted every time we publish new content. Your support means everything to us, and it allows us to keep bringing you the kind of wealth-building insights that can transform your life. If you found value in this content and want to contribute to our mission, you can buy us a coffee using the link in the description below. You can also become a member of our Real Money team and unlock exclusive benefits, behind-the-scenes content, and special perks. Choose from Real Money team levels 1, 2, or 3 to get the experience that's right for you. But most importantly, take action on what you've learned today. Your financial future depends not on what you know, but on what you do with what you know. Thank you for investing your time with us today. You are the real money makers, and I believe in your ability to build the wealth and financial freedom you deserve. Until next time, keep building, keep growing, and remember, your best financial decisions are still ahead of you.